Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review of Trial of the Amazons, number one. This is a two-part series because it's going to be the beginning and the end of this Trial of the Amazons crossover happening all across all the Wonder Woman books. So you will see the Nubia book included, and although the Wonder Girl book is no longer being printed, they're printing two special editions, and we'll go into that a little bit more. But let me tell you a little bit about what this book is. So, like I mentioned, this is kind of like a big crossover between everything. And before I get into talking about the credits, because it's all an extensive list, but I want to make sure that all the creators are properly credited on this review. I haven't been, I am not fully caught up on all the Wonder Woman books. I'm behind on reading some of that stuff, but I did read this book. I want to make sure that I let you guys know. I feel like you can kind of go into this book without being caught up, but I know now that I would get a little bit more out of it if I was caught up in both the Nubia series, the ongoing Wonder Woman, and I did finish Wonder Girl, so that was good. But let's go take a look at the creative list, and we'll talk a little bit more about the story. So, Trial of the Amazons number one is written by Stephanie Williams, Vita Ayala, Joelle Jones, Michael Conrad, and Becky Cloonan, with art by Laura Braga, Skylar Patridge, Joelle Jones, and Elena Casagrande. Colors by Romulo Fajardo Jr. and Jordie Bellaire, with letters by Pat Brosseau. Uh, so let's get into taking a look at a little bit of the art, and as I'll talk through the kind of a big summary or the pitch that DC's given us for this book. So we're definitely in Themyscira, joining Nubia, who's currently ruling over the Amazons of Themyscira. But that's kind of where it gets a little bit different. There are multiple tribes of Amazon that each have their own ruling system, and I guess individuals that represent them, but they're all coming together here, and that's kind of where the story goes. So let's go take a look at some art as I read the synopsis. So after the events of Nubia and the Amazons, the dangers of Doom's doorway have found their way to man's world and garnered the attention of not one but all three Amazonian tribes. The Bana Migdal consider it to be a weakness in the current regime and have decided to return to the shores of the Mascara to stake their claim over the island. Little do they know that the Esquisita are not far behind, but instead looking for help combat the evil unleashed. Tempers rise and swords are brandished as the women argue about the best course of action. Now Queen Nubia must show them all the way of peace by calling for one of the most famous Amazon traditions, the contest. Who among them is worthy of leading them into the future as this bravest, wisest, fiercest warriors compete to be the champion of all Amazons? So yeah, here we catch up in Themyscira, and we see the preparations for the contest. We expect the different tribes to arrive. And like I said, I'm not very familiar with the other two tribes because I am behind on the books. Although the Esquisita, that's Wonder Girl from Brazil. So that's kind of where they reside. But yeah, just seeing them make this trip, um, I gotta say, all the artists in this book are amazing. I didn't miss a beat. Like as I was reading it, I never felt like I was being like. Sometimes when you're reading a book with multiple artists, you get this kind of whiplash, like, oh, you can see the art change. But with this one, the transitions were very smooth. Um, so yeah, I couldn't even tell you. I would have to go look at the reference of who drew which pages to specifically point out, oh, this is this artist or who isn't, because they all work so well together in sync to make it look very similar in the same artistic style. So I appreciate that, especially because, as you may have heard in the past, I've complained about multiple artists in a book without a purpose, but this is not that. This is just bringing all the teams of all those books together to work on this, and I think they did an amazing job. Let's look at some more art. Here we see Nubia with former Queen Hippolyta, who had been serving in the Justice League. For more information on that, go read Justice League Endless Winter. I really recommend that story. And then here we see this. I really love the gate. Kind of looks like a Stargate. And then we have here the Bana Mingdal as they show up to the gate. with their queen, and then also Artemis here as kind of the lieutenant. And then we also see how even from the beginning of them, like tensions have been rising between all kinds of tribes, which is it's a very interesting concept because I think um, overall the philosophy of the Amazons have been that they're all sisters and they kind of all live under the same rule and bond and peace, and they're very little to no conflict between them. um, but just introducing this whole idea of different tribes where maybe they grow up with similar ideals of peace, but how they got to the peace, that's the part that's a little bit different. So I think the team is doing a very interesting job introducing a very cool concept to this book of Trial of the Amazons. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the actual contest. Now, for a little bit of reference, I put together this here. So we have part one taking place in Trial of the Amazons. Part two will be in Nubia, in the Nubia book, in issue number 6. Then the story will continue in Wonder Woman, then Wonder Girl. Then once again, it'll go to Wonder Woman. One last issue of this special Amazonian the edition of Wonder Girl. As you can see, the covers are meant to connect. And then we go to Trial of the Amazons number 2. So these books will be sold in the next few weeks as we kind of get through the story. So it is a 7-part story. So there's going to be definitely a lot of ups and downs, and I think you will also see the things that each of the creative teams focus on in their specific book. So hopefully it'll be a success. I have a lot of trust in these creators. Really, I haven't read as much stuff by Stephanie Williams, but Nubia and the Amazons has been really good. And then Vita, Ayala, and Joelle Jones have been just all-time classics for me. Also, Becky, Cloonan, and Michael Conrad. So, yeah, I can't say enough good things about the creative team. So, there you have it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe. Hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Sundays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, movie reviews, all that stuff here on the channel. I'm going to leave you with a look at some of the variants for this specific issue. Let us know in the comments which one you picked up. If and if you picked up all of them, let us know, because that's I love you guys know we love variants on the channel. So once again, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.